Hello, everyone. This is Ryan Ellis, and I am honored and happy to be joined by the LaRupin Legendary Lee Canady. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Ryan. How you doing, man?
Doing fine, sir. Doing fine. Miles Davis had a different group every album until you saw him at the Minor Key, the first cafe in Michigan. He had the Miles Davis Quintet, the Miles Davis Quartet, the Miles Davis Sextet.
Right.
Conversely, on the other hand, MJQ, Modern Jazz Quartet, they stuck with it. Maybe not the same members, but the same band, if that makes sense. Same group.
Well, the same members.
The same members as well.
How many?
Okay.
How many is it? Got the drummer, the bass player, xylophone, and the piano player. There's four of them.
Oh, and they didn't change the lineup.
No, it's always the four.
Never. Oh.
If they play with the orchestra, the four still there.
Yeah.
You understand? John Lewis maybe played with some, maybe in an orchestra or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm just still saying they was a group. But I'm saying that, like Miles Davis, you just stated that quintet, quartet, sextet, and sometimes he, like, when he came back on the scene after he did Kind of Blue, that's what got him on the map started, Kind of Blue, really. And of course, the Sketches of Spain, but that was a big orchestra. I never did hear that album from that day to yet. That time you could get the record club and get 5 albums for so much and that kind of thing, which you get them never paid for them. And I never could listen to Sketches of Spain, but it says Spo is rated up there. But first thing I bought for him was Kind of Blue. That album was So What on there. And he had Paul Evans, which is white, played piano. Paul Chalmers from Detroit. Jimmy Cobb, drum. And John Coltrane, tenor sax. And that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
It, right?
And then he regrouped again. He came out with Tony Williams. Tony Williams, about 17, 18 years old.
On drums.
On drums.
Yeah.
And he came in town with Tony Williams. He had Herbie Hancock.
On keys.
He had Wayne Shorter.
Okay.
That's when I met him. Because I was at Minor Key. And I go downstairs at the room where they go. It wasn't a room, it was a place down there, really. The boards that far apart. Wall, the boards that far apart, I'm talking about here.
The floorboards.
That's the wall.
The wall boards.
And they had a big bed, well, not a bed, what you call those, bean bed?
Beanbag chairs.
Bag on the floor. Somebody was laying on that. It's like a cage we put storage. But that was the room where they were down there relaxing. So Miles walked in, scared me to death. Because Miles, if you ask him for autographs, you don't know what he's gonna say. If you ask him to play something tonight, you don't know what he's gonna say. What he usually said that I play at the next set. Next set he don't show. He said he didn't like to do that. Don't like to play requests because I don't feel it tonight. Jazz musician at that time, he was truly, they thought, he portrayed that you got to feel it to play it, because that's why he ain't played the same way twice.
He protected his emotions that way.
Right. So he would turn his back on the audience. Why? Because everybody looking at him. When he get through soloing, he would turn his back. Now the piano player coming in, or the drummer, or whoever, what they playing, he wants you to look at them. So he turns his back.
In your opinion, do you think he did that because he was such a purist as an artist, or did he do that because it was an act? Like
I think he truly feel that way. He's the kind of person which I do a lot. He believe in himself. He don't stand for nobody. Why I got to sign your autograph? I'm a person like you. He don't like that glorifying. That's what I'm saying.
Coltrane was a much warmer person. He was your buddy. He was your good friend.
Well, the whole group with Coltrane, when he was in, I would hang with them. McCoy Tyner, I wanted to play like Cor. I liked the way he played piano, you know, and Elvin Jones, you know, he was a local, and I liked his drumming, you know, but everybody thought he was crazy. 'cause he was playing and and he was, but he caught on, you know.
Okay, the same question I asked just now about Miles Davis, about these other gentlemen you just mentioned, maybe some others, just we'll kind of paint with a broad brush here. Do you think a lot of these people, like grinning, all that stuff, they were just kind of doing what came naturally? You think a lot, it wasn't they're putting on a show, or was there a kind of a...
No, they feel it in music. Some people shake their head, some people body feet. Cannonball do like he circle. That's what he Cannonball do. I mean, it's the part of their emotion that they expressing themselves.
Earlier this year, we went over to Third Man Records, Jack White's record store up in Midtown and here in Detroit.
Right.
And Jack White, he was in, I forget the publication, but he was in one of those music trade magazines. And he said that, in his opinion, the Rolling Stones looked around and tried to copy what they saw, but the Beatles looked ahead and they set the standard. And these are two all-time great bands of their time, of their genre. And one was they kind of were trying to fit in. The others, they're trying to set the standard, the avant-garde. Was it among jazz players, do you think a lot of jazz players were each their own person, or do you think after a certain point they started sort of looking around and copying each other?
Well, they do that, but you don't want to be a copy, you want to be original. That's why Charlie Parker played alto sax. Everybody who come out with an alto sax want to sound like Bird. You can't sound like the Bird. The closest person was the Bird was Sonny Stitt, But if you're really a jazz listener, you know the difference. You know the difference because it's just like I can see you behind a silhouette and I know that's you.
Yeah.
I don't have to see your face white, nothing like that. I see a silhouette. I know you. I know a black person from a white person.
Yeah.
It's that you got your own DNA.
You've mentioned that before. How many times you say how you can pick out different players if you just hear even maybe a song you haven't heard by them, the style that they play it.
Well, it's just like you talking, okay?
Yeah.
Like anybody talking, right? They call you on the phone. They ain't got to stay asleep before you know who it is, right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
So
nobody does the same thing.
I always joke that I'm incapable of plagiarism because I can't quote things to save my life, and I wonder if jazz, as opposed to rock and roll, jazz, like you're talking about, it's just endlessly expressive and different every time. So maybe for that reason, you have a lot more unique, standout, one-of-a-kind individual artists in the jazz genre than maybe you do in rock and roll when you just have four chords. It's the same four chords, but jazz songs sound so different than each other, one to the next.
Yeah, but see, like rock and roll, it's written down. If you play the song, if you play Ain't Too Proud to Be About the Temptation, if you don't sing it like the Temptation as close as you can, you ain't going nowhere.
There you go. That's a good point. You're right.
If you
the
do the
timbre of their
OJs,
voices.
you got to sound like the OJs.
There you
Man,
go.
you don't sound like the OJs. But jazz is different. Everybody got their own identity. That's what an artist is.
The way they phrase the notes.
Right.
Yeah.
I can tell a Picasso painting from anybody else's. Can't you?
Yeah.
There's a couple I can tell because I studied them. When I said study, watching, I used to collect Picasso.
Yeah.
I would cut a picture from a magazine and frame it.
Yeah.
And I know Picasso, and I tried to paint a little bit. He did one you could see the front of the person's face and the back at the same time. How could you do that? He did it.
Because he sketched them from different angles and then put that on the 2D plane. That was his trick.
But I'm just saying he did it.
Yeah. Let me ask you another kind of out there question, but you are a cool cat. You are the jazz man. Billboard magazine said Lee Canady was all about that jazz. And so with that all in mind, now I forgot my question. No, I just did. With that all in mind, I lost my mind. No, with that all in mind, how do you say it? That's right. John Coltrane, Miles Davis, maybe the two greatest to ever play jazz. Would you put a third up there, or just those two? Kind of not really.
Well,
Thelonious Monk maybe number 3.
Yeah, like if you tell me who, all depend on the mood that you're in.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like I used to listen to Coltrane. When he come into the minor key, he come at 6 in the evening to 6 in the next morning. I would go down there and stay all night after work.
Yeah.
And went to work from there. I would take a lunch to eat something on and stay there all night with the group. They playing. I used to do that. And Coltrane, I could listen to him. Sometimes tears would come down. Man. He playing
like even a song you've heard before, you hear it
yeah,
again.
Every time you hear it, he played music for lovers.
Yeah.
And he played the sound he makes on his horn, and he playing those love tunes, and you got a girl that you're in love with.
No two ways about it what it's gonna do to your heart.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And when I want to hear that, ain't nobody gonna sound like that but Coltrane. Now Miles Davis, he can play sweet. They all got their, you know what they do.
Yeah.
That's why they make them who they are.
So.
But I couldn't pick a person who's better than this compared to what mood I'm in.
All right. So you can't say who's the best, but
I don't do that.
Either way, you would agree though that among the very best of all time, you would definitely put Miles Davis, Coltrane, some others that you knew.
If I want to, well, that's Freddie Hubbard. Now I like Freddie Hubbard. That's Clifford Brown. I like Clifford Brown. Now,
so we'll say like about a dozen artists.
I can't put nobody in front of Miles. I can't put nobody in front of Freddie Hubbard. At the
All right.
time I'm listening to Freddie Hubbard, he's the man. At the time I'm listening to Miles Davis, he's the man.
So here's my question. So I'm just trying to establish some of the greatest to ever play jazz. You knew them. You've listened to them. And now here we are in MMXXII Anno Domini, as I keep saying. I think it's funny. 2022 for all those who can't do Roman numerals. And we got a lot of new players around today. Coltrane was a genius. Miles was a genius. Freddie Hubbard, a genius. Tony Williams.
Right.
Back in your day, they were playing as well as they could. Miles was a true artist. He didn't want to play unless he felt it.
Right.
I don't think that jazz artists today can be any better than jazz artists so many years ago. They might have different tricks that they may have come up with, but I think jazz sounds different nowadays, but I don't think it's better. What do you think?
Well, all depending on what they're doing. Like the jazz today, the people of the day, he want to record something he gonna make some money on.
Commercial.
Right.
Sellable.
Right. He trying to get 1 million sellers. But back in the day, I just wanted to, this is me, I'm painting, you don't like it, tough luck.
What's good is good. Sounds good, it is good.
That's the way an artist is, right?
Yeah.
He paint a paint. He wish you like it, but if you don't, he ain't mad at you. He's still gonna paint that way, right?
Yeah.
That's what a true jazz artist is. So everybody's not a true person. It's true, but compared to who? Compared to what? That's why I always say, So I don't compare nobody who's better than.
To put it a different way, jazz artists today, even though they have the whole record catalog, every note that Miles ever played that survived, every note that John Coltrane ever played that survived, they have all that to study and even emulate, copy on their own. I don't think that makes them any better musicians than 50, 60 years ago that didn't have all that, history to build off of. In fact, I think a lot of them maybe are worse off because they always like, oh, that sounds like that guy. Oh, that sounds like that guy. Instead of like they're making it new everything they do.
But you see, Miles, everything Miles Davis make gonna sell because he's Miles Davis. People like him for his pose. People like him because other people say he's good. That kind of thing.
A lot of factors.
It's a lot of factors.
Not just the music.
So I don't compare him. That's why I said,
right.
Call them what mood that they're in, that I'm in. You follow me? Call them what mood. Sometimes I want to listen to Nancy Wilson. Sometimes I want to listen to Sarah Vaughan. And whoever, Randy Crawford.
Yeah.
And I pay Randy Crawford for days, weekends, the same damn album, and I got many of them. But I just want these tunes right now is knocking me out,
Yeah.
mooning me at that moment.
Do you think that you kept up with current music between maybe the 1950s until the 1990s? You didn't really keep up as often, or maybe the 80s when your store closed down. Did you stop keeping track of current music in the 80s or later than that?
I stopped keeping track of them because there's only so many minutes in a day, hours or whatever. And when I have time to listen to music, I want to listen. I'm in the mood for Coltrane today.
And it's not like music from before gets worse over time, and sometimes it gets better.
It's just that I want to hear
compared to
this
what's
today,
around
and I want to hear
nowadays.
this particular song right now.
Yeah.
I want to hear about his arrangement right now. So I put him on, and I've been playing Miles Davis for Lovers on my cassette. And
Yeah.
It's been on there for a month. And other school is somebody else, Kim. You know, the guy who was from Detroit, he was a bum when I was in business. He was coming in the store as a bum at the time. He was coming up on Cass Avenue. Kim, He got a thing out. He does a thing about my favorite thing with the Isley Brothers. And man, and it's rock and roll. It's not rock, it's music, man. It's just through my soul.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing and the way he does it.
Oh man.
You know, but Coltrane did it too in his way.
Yeah.
Right now, I want to listen to Kim way he did it in his way. And then I might want to listen to Coltrane tomorrow in his way. And his was about 30 minutes long. And that's what got him. He was already on the map, but that really put him over in money-wise. You follow me?
Yeah.
Because it sold a lot. See, a lot of them jazz musicians, they poor. They didn't make no lot. You understand? The only millionaire I know is a jazz player is the white guy.
Kenny G.
Right, I was listening to him yesterday on my CD.
You like Kenny G?
Not for myself. He had a tune out the thing. I was just listening at an old tape with Michael Frank on that, and a lot of things on Kenny G. And the girl I was dating at the time, she used to like Kenny G. And I had tapes in my car, and I put that in there. I can listen to that. I don't hate it, but I don't I don't like Kenny G. He's a millionaire. And
God bless him.
And a friend of mine was at the Capital Marshall, and we talking about people, good and bad. And I said, man, you can't say that. And we got into argument. Man, so-and-so is better than that.
Yeah.
And Kenny G came up.
Yeah.
I said, compared to who? I said, Kenny G's a millionaire. You know, and a black millionaire is a jazz player. Not even Miles Davis was a millionaire. If it was, I ain't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Do you?
No, sir.
Well, that's who's good. If you get made enough to be a millionaire, who's better compared to what?
All right, that's the timer. All right, we can maybe do one more thing.